Good day, everyone. We are SMS 1024 Elementary Statistics E222 students. We represent Group 3, and our topic for survey is Survey on the Usage of Online Shopping Platforms. Our lecturer is Puan Norazrin binti Abdul Raja. So we represent Group 3, which is a group consists of 4 group members. First one, Karishneswari, daughter of Venkatarao, Vaniswari, daughter of Yuvarajan, Ganeshwari, daughter of Taruvenkadam, and Mritika Rukman, daughter of Arumugam. Without wasting our time, let's get into our first question.
What are the types of online shopping platforms do you often use? So, the above pie chart proves that most of the respondents often use Shopee as their main online shopping platforms. This is because the highest percentage of options holding in the pie chart is representing the Shopee. So next we look into the frequency distribution table. So in these questions given six options to be chosen by the respondents. So those are Shopee, Grab, Foodpanda, Lazada, Muda.my and Amazon. Okay, so the number of responses for Shopee is 91, for the Grab is 16, Foodpanda 16, Lazada 18. The Muda.my and Amazon was 0. So the percentage distribution for Shopee is 64.5% and the Grab 11.3 and Foodpanda also same. Lazada goes with 12.8%. So the Muda.my and Amazon goes with 0 percentage and followed by relative frequency. The Shopee is 0.65, Grab 0.11, Foodpanda 0.11, Lazada 0.13. The lastly Muda.my and Amazon goes with 0. So this is a group data, and also these questions represents qualitative data. So the mean gathered by this question is 23.5, which is the total of the number of respondents divided by the number of types of online shopping platforms, which is 6. So given 23.5. So the range, the highest value is 91 and the lowest value is 0. So 91 minus 0 equals to 91, so the range is 91. So the finally the class size 91, which is the highest value, minus the lowest value, which is 0, divided by 6, so equals to 15.17.
Okay, that's all for that question. We will move on to the new question. The question is, what are the types of app you often use for payment procedures like e-wallet or do it now? From this statement, we all know that this is a qualitative question. From that question, we interpret a pie chart. From this pie chart, we can clearly see that e-wallet is most preferred option by the students. This is the bar chart for this question. From the pie chart and bar chart, we can get the percentage and number of students for each and every app.
Okay, so the next question is, what are the aspects you prefer when using online shopping platforms? So for this question, we have particularly chose 7 aspects and provided it in our Google survey. So majority from the 141 respondents have chose free vouchers as their main aspect when using online shopping platforms. So the responses we got for this question is presented in the bar chart given. Okay, so here we have presented the table of frequency distribution for this question. You can see the responses are the frequency and then cumulative frequency. So you can see that frequency and the cumulative frequency are tally, which is 426. And then we have also calculated the relative frequency. You can calculate the relative frequency using the frequency for each aspect divided by the total frequency, which is 426, to get these relative frequency values. And then here we have shown the percentage for the aspects, which is you have to times relative frequency by 100 to get the value. Okay, here are small information we can get from this question, which is the type of variable. This question is a qualitative variable. The next one is the type of measurement. As you can see, this is an ordinal scale. The next one is type of mode. This question is unimodal because the only one answer is the majority, and this does not repeat again. And then the approximate width of class is 86 minus 22, the highest amount of responses minus with the lowest amount of responses, divided by the class. We got 7 aspects, so 7 class, so the answer would be 9.14. Next is the population mean, which is 426, the total of respondents we got, divided by 141, which the amount of the respondents. So the answer would be 3.0. Therefore, each respondent has chosen 3 aspects to be preferred in their online shopping platforms. Okay, let us get into the next question, which is what are the problems you face when using online shopping platforms? So for this question, we have particularly chose 6 problems, and we have received a variety of responses from 141 respondents. Majority of them chose delay of arrival in the products they purchased as their main problem when using online shopping platforms. Okay, now let us view the simple outcomes of interpretation for this question. So the first one is type of variable. As you can see, this question is a qualitative variable because the variable is not measurable on a numerical scale. Second one, the type of measurement is an ordinal scale because it's a simple, natural, and ordered categories. And then the next one would be type of mode. This mode is a unimodal because it only has one single highest value. The next one would be approximate width of class, which is the highest value of respondents minus with the lowest amount of responses, divided by 6 class, which are the 6 problems. So the answer would be 10.33. Okay, so here is the frequency distribution table for this question. As you can see, we have stated the 6 aspects or the 6 problems, which are technical issues, network issues, exploitation, quality assurance, spending too much money and time, and delay of arrival in products. So next is the responses, which are the frequency, and then next is the cumulative frequency. As you can see, both are tally, which is 376. The next would be relative frequency and the percentage. As you can see, majority of them chose uh, delay of arrival in product, which is 24.2 percentage, and the lowest percentage would be 7.7, which is exploitation. That's all from me, Murtika Rukman. Thank you.
Okay. Next question is, for what purpose you often use your preferred online shopping platform? Respondents are given 3 choices to choose. This is a bar chart and it proves that Most at the respondents often preferred shopping accessories items as their main preference, which is 109 respondents and 77.3%. This is some my short interpretation on my in this question about frequency distribution. So let's look at the types of preference. There are 5 types of preference we given to the respondents, which is start from food, bag and shoes, transportation, accessories, and cosmetics. When we focus to the main, it is accessories. The number of responses are 109, and the percentage of distribution on the bar chart is 77.3, and the relative frequency is 0.77. There are some information we can collect from this data, which is type of data. This type is a group data and a qualitative data. This is the way we calculate the mean. We plus all of the number of responses, 65 plus 87 plus 89, and plus with the 109 for the accessories, and plus with 61 for the cosmetics, and we divide into 5 because there's a 5 types of preference. We will get 74.20, and the next info we can get is range. The range is the biggest value minus with the smallest value. 109 minus with 49, we get 60. And the class size, the range, we will divide with how many types of preference, which we get 5, and we get 12 overall.
The question is, how often do you use your online shopping platforms in a month? So, the pie chart above shows that 60.3% of respondents use online shopping platforms approximately 0 to 5 times in a month. So let's look into the frequency distribution table. So the usage of online shopping platforms in a month was given 6 options, which is 0 to 5 times, 6 to 10 times, 11 to 15 times, 16 to 20 times, 21 to 25 times, and 26 to 30 times. So the number of responses gathered for the option of 0 to 5 times is 85, followed by 37, and for the option 11 to 15 times is 11. So the 16 to 20 times is 4, 21 to 25 times is 0, and 26 to 30 times is 4. So the percentage distribution for the 0 to 5 times is 60.3, which is the highest percentage compared to other options, and followed by 26.2 percentage and 7.8 percentage and 2.84 percentage, and for the 21 to 25 times was 0, and the lastly 26 to 30 times is 2.84 percentage. So the relative frequency for the first option is 0.6, followed by 0.26. For the 11 to 15 times, the relative frequency was 0.08, followed by 0.03, and for the 21 to 25 times was 0, and finally for the 26 to 30 times option, the relative frequency was 0.03. So this question is a group data, and also it include in quantitative data. So this question is a group data, and this question represents a quantitative data. So the mean gathered by this question is 23.5, which is 85 plus 37 plus 11 plus 4 plus 0 plus 4 divided by 6 is 23.5. So followed by range 85 minus 0 which is 85 is the highest value and the 0 was the lowest value, so equals to 85, followed by class size, which is 85 minus 0 divided by 6, which is 14.17.
Okay, let's move on to the first question. My question is, how much you spend on online shopping platforms in a month? Okay, from this question we can know that it is a quantitative question. So from this I interpret a bar chart. From this bar chart we can clearly see that RM0 to RM50 as the biggest contribution, which 63 students were selected this option. But on the other hand, RM 151 to RM 200 were no students selected this option. With the help of bar chart, we can get percentage, students, the number of students, and cumulative frequency for each and every classes. Okay, from the previous table we can get the class limit. Okay, each option is the class limit. Okay, next move on to the class boundaries and class width. Okay, class width is the difference between the range of the class midpoint is we can get through adding the both value and divide by 2. The value that added before we will divide by 2 and we can get the midpoint. Okay, midpoint is also can be called as M. So this table is for MF, the product of midpoint, and F is for frequency. And this table is M square F. M square, we will square the M and we will times with frequency. Okay, mean. Okay, this symbol is for population because we include all the IPTA and IPTS students, not only the OPSI students, so we are using the population symbol. Okay, the formula for population mean is sigma MF divided by N. Okay, you know why we find all the MF value is to find the mean value. Okay, we will add all the MF value and divide by N, which is we get 141 response, so we will divide by 141 and we get 70.54. As for median, this is the formula for median. Okay, LM stands for lower boundaries, width, W is width, and N is the number. MF, we all know that product of M and F, and we will substitute all the value and we will get 58.98. As I mentioned before, our respondents included IPTA, IPTS students as well as OPSI students. So we all using population for the calculation. So for the variance, the population of variance is called as sigma square, and this is the formula. So we will directly substitute the formula and we will get 2939.46. So for standard deviation, it's called as sigma, which is we can directly substitute the variance, the value of variance into the square root and we can get 54.22. From the help of chapter 5, I interpret this as a question. which is there is a total of 141 responses were received from this survey. 67 were UPSI and 74 were the IPTA or IPTS. Find the probability that exactly 15 people were chosen from UPSI that span RM100. The question asks only UPSI students, so UPSI student is 67 people. Okay. Then RM100 only. So there are two classes that involve from RM0 to RM100, and this percentage is belongs to RM0 to RM50, and this class is belong to RM51 to 100. If we add this both percentage, we will get 88.0 percentage, and if we divide by 100, we will get 0.88, which is the success. It is also known as P. If we minus with 1 minus 0.88, we will get 0.12, which is the failure, also known as Q. We all know the formula is NCR P R Q N minus R. So the N is 67 student, the R is 15, and the Q is the failure 0.12, and N minus R is 67 minus by 15, we will get 52. So you get the answer 6.66 times 10 to the power negative 35.
Okay, moving on to the next question, which is how many online shopping platforms do you use frequently? So, majority of them, which is 72.3 percentage, responded that they will use 2 to 3 online shopping platforms frequently. Okay, so let us view simple interpretations for this question. The first one would be type of variable. So for this question, it is quantitative variable because the data represents amount or numbers. The next one would be type of measurements. So this is an interval scale because it quantifies the value between two numbers. The next one is type of mode, which is unimodal because it only has one biggest amount. So these are the class limits. We have given 4 options, and then we have also shown class boundaries. Class width is the same. We have provided 2. So for the last class, in the last row of the table, you can see we have not stated 2 numbers. We have only stated 1, which is above 5. So we cannot get the class boundaries. We can only get the lower boundary of the last class, and so we cannot find the class width and the class midpoint for that. Okay, so here we have given the frequency distribution for this question. We've provided the 4 classes and then the responses, which are the frequency, the cumulative frequency. As you can see, the frequency and the cumulative frequency is tally, which is 141. And then we've also provided relative frequency. And then lastly, we have provided the percentage of respondents for this question. So as you can see, majority of them with 72.3 percentage, which are 102 respondents have chosen 2 to 3 online shopping platforms.
Let's move to the next question. What is the average shipping days for your purchase products? Okay, shipping days for purchase products. This is a pie chart. This pie chart shows that 34.0% respondents defines that 4 to 6 days taken for shipping process, which is 34% of respondents from this pie chart is defines the 4 to 6 days are taken. There are 23 respondents support for 1 to 3 days, which is next 48% supports 4 to 6 days. 44 respondents support for the 7 to 9 days, and 21 respondents support 10 to 12 days, and only small percentage of respondents, which is 5 respondents only, support the shipping average around 13 and 15 days. Okay, here this is my frequency distributions. Some short interpretation that I did. The average shipping days is we start from 1 to 15 days. So 1 to 3 days average, the number of responses are 23, and 48 respondents support for 4 to 6 days. 44 respondents support for 7 to 9 days. 21 number of responses defines that 7 to 9 days, and 21 respondents support for a 10 and average from 10 to 12, and only the small amount of respondents support for a 13 to 15 days for the average shipping. Maybe there's any problem with shipping. So the percentage of distribution, we can look over here. The highest defined by respondents are 34.04%, which is the average of shipping days is from 4 to 6 days. That's normal, right? And then the relative frequency for the chosen percentage is 0.34. Okay, we can interpret some info from here, from this pie chart, which is type of data. This is group data and qualitative data. We can find the mean with plus all the number of responses. We get 141 and divide with 5, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did a choice 5 average of shipping days, so we can divide 5, and then we will get value 28.20. Talking about the range, the highest range is 48 and the lowest range is 5. So we will divide the highest to lowest, we will get 43. And then the class size, we will use the range divide with the total of average shipping days lah. Not total. How many average we did? Like we did 5 average, right? So range, which is 43, divide by 5, we will get the value for 8.6.
Okay, this is the last question from myself. The question is, how often do you experience privacy concerns during online shopping platforms within 3 months? How often? This means it's clearly, visibly we can see that it's mentioning, it's a type of quantitative questions. Okay, these are the pie chart and bar chart from the question, and we can clearly see that 1 to 3 times is the option where most of the students answered in a Google form. Okay, as I mentioned before, from the pie chart and bar chart, we can get the class limit, class boundaries, class width, class midpoint, M, frequency, mf and m square f. As I mentioned before in the other questions, we are using population. So the formula for population mean is sigma mf divided by n. The value of sigma mf is 483 and we received 141 response. So 483 divided by 141, we will get 161 divided by 47. We can show the answer in fraction form or decimal form. In decimal form, the answer is 3.43. As for the median, this is the formula for median, and this is the limit, weight, this is the number, this is the sigma mf. If we substitute all correctly, we will get 3.48 as the answer. As for variance, the population of variance is called as sigma square, and this is the formula for sigma square. If we substitute, we will get 5.99. And for standard deviation, it's called as sigma. We can directly substitute the answer in a square root, so we will get 2.45. From this question, I came up with this table which consists of gender, less privacy concern, more privacy concern, and lastly total. Okay. Here, less privacy concern means the ratings from 1 to 6, and more privacy concern means 7 to 12. From the previous table, we can get the probability for less privacy concern. So 125 people have less privacy concern on online shopping. So we will divide 125 with 141. So probability of high privacy concern is there are 16 people who are thinking that there are no privacy concern in online shopping. So we will divide 16 divided by 141, and the probability of male is 32 divided by 141, and the probability of female is 109 divided by 141. Okay, to find the probability of man and high privacy concern, we have a formula that probability of man intersect high privacy concern divided by the probability of high privacy concern, we will get 1 over 4. For the probability of M, which is male and low privacy concern, we need to find the probability of man intersect low privacy concern divided by the probability of low privacy concern. We will get 28 per 1 to 5. And for the probability of female high privacy concern, we need to find the probability of female intersect with high privacy concern divided by the probability of high privacy concern. We will get the last answer as 3 over 4. And lastly, for the probability of female low privacy concern, we need to find the probability of female intersect low privacy concern divided by the probability of low privacy concern. We will get the answer 97 per 1 to 5.
Thank you for staying with us until the end. That's all from us. Thank you.